Do you start losing your focus with your goals as the year goes on? If so, the 12-week year planning approach could work for you. This is a system introduced in the book 12-Week Year by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. It's essentially a way to think of your goals in 12-week cycles as opposed to full year cycles so that you can stay motivated and accomplish smaller goals faster, which can feel more rewarding. In this video, I wanted to share with you how you can use Notion to implement the 12-week year approach through a template tour and tutorial of my 12-week year planner and workbook template. If you find this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. To get started, let's do a brief overview of this template. So when you first download this template, this is what you'll find. You can check the link to the book, which I would recommend reading before starting to use this template, since it's going to give you more context and allow you to fully understand this system. Then we have the navigation here. There's a vision and planning page where you can work through various questions before starting the 12-week year. And then there's also a final reflection, which you can fill out when you're done with the 12-week year. Then we have your goals at the top here, your weekly plans here, and then you'll see all of your tasks below over here. The databases are located here, so I would just keep them as view only and make sure not to delete anything or the template might not work anymore. The very first thing that I would recommend starting with is to go to the vision and planning page. So we're going to go ahead and click here, start doing the life area evaluation. So this is a chance for you to evaluate and score your life areas before starting your 12-week plan. You can even add new rows by clicking here, add more life areas as you need if you'd like to score those as well. This is going to allow you to help you think about some goals that you'd like to work on, how you feel about each of these sections. You can add notes. Once you have that scored, then you can think about which areas you're currently happy with and write your answer in here. And then which areas you'd like to improve in the next 12 weeks. So let's say that the physical health is something that I want to improve on, then I can definitely write about that here and sort of think through what kinds of goals that I have for that to improve that area of my life. The next part is about the vision. What are your aspirational visions? So what's your vision in the long term? The 3-year vision, what do you want in your life 3 years from now? And then what do you truly want to achieve? What are your most important values in life? What kind of legacy would you like to leave behind? And what do you want for yourself and your family? And there's also additional questions here which you can fill out. And it's just a good way to kind of look within yourself and think about bigger picture things as well as what is the essential most important part right now. The next part is more hands-on, and that is the goal realization and planning. So at the end of the 12 weeks, to realize your vision and these long-term aspirations, what goals do you actually want to achieve? So let's say that my long-term goal is to just be very healthy and active lifestyle. And if that's my vision, then I can start adding my goals. Here, I would recommend maybe 3 to 4 goals, and to make sure that those goals are something that you feel like you can actually achieve. If I click here, and let's say goal number 1 is to make going to the gym a routine. And so the main thing that I want to accomplish here is to start going to the gym and make sure that that becomes a routine for me, so that at the end of the 12 weeks, I feel like that has become more part of my life. So inside of the goal, you can start planning it. You can add your tasks, reflection, and so on. We'll get to this later once we're out of the vision and planning. But for now, I would recommend just adding your goals. So let's say that I have another goal, which is to publish weekly videos, and this is going to be more for my work, so I'll just put career. And one thing you can also do is to add a cover photo, so I can go ahead and click here, change. I'm gonna look for video creation. Now the next part, once you add a few goals here, is to answer the question, why are your 12-week goals important to you? If you commit to achieving them, what will be different? So once you're finished with this one, we can go back and return home. The next thing we're going to do is start to actually plan our goals and add some tasks. To fill out your goals and add your tasks, you're going to want to click on the goal itself. So let's say this one, make going to the gym a routine. I'm going to start planning it. What are my tactics to tackle this goal below? Maybe having nice gym wear, going with a friend, and so on. What are some keystone actions? What are the costs that you will have to pay to take that keystone action every week consistently? Are you willing to pay that cost to reach this goal? And so on, to just really analyze what you need to do in order to accomplish this goal. The most important part of the 12-week year planning is the next part, which is the tasks. And here you actually want to lay out all of the tasks that you need to do in order to accomplish this goal. So the idea is that when you reach 100% task completion, you've actually accomplished the goal. And you want to spread out your tasks in a way that it evenly goes through the 12 weeks, week by week. So how that works is now I'm going to click new page here and I'll start adding the tasks. So maybe the first step for me is to actually go and buy some gym wear. So buy gym wear that I like. I'll put a due date. So let's say that I'm going to do that on Monday. And then you want to choose which weekly plan this should belong to. So this is the week 1 type of task. And the goal is going to be automatically filled in here. So next I'll do join the gym. Maybe I haven't joined the gym yet. So maybe I'll also do that on the Monday here. That's also week 1. And we have it here. The next ones are mainly going to be about building consistency. So going to gym number 1, for example, and maybe I'll go on the Wednesday. And that's the week 1 activity. Then I'll do going to gym 2. And this one I can go on Friday. So let's say that I want to keep somewhat of a consistent cycle of going to gym 3 times a week. Then I can start to then put going to gym number 3. And this would be that I would go on the 17th. That's a week 2. So ideally, you're going to want to fill this whole thing out as much as you can and to the best of your ability so that if you are to check all of these off, then you'll know that you have actually accomplished your goal. Then here in the complete, you'll see any tasks where you have completed it. So let's say that I finished buying the gym wear. It's going to go here. And then if you go to view all, you'll see all of your tasks. So that's essentially the idea behind the 12-week year. You'll have all of the tasks you need to do laid out for you. So you don't need to think too much. You can just execute it. Finally, when you are done with the goal, then you'll have a whole place for reflecting on it. Things can happen. And so if you do need to switch things around, you can always choose a different date for the due date. You can also unlink this and then assign it to a different week, for example. So all of these are possible, but I would recommend sticking to it as much as you can. Once you're finished with planning this goal, you can go ahead and go back by clicking return home. And now you'll notice that your tasks start appearing here. So you can see all of those tasks, what has been completed, and view all. When you do complete a task, you'll notice that if it's assigned to week 1, you'll notice that you're going to see your progress for each week also show up here. Next, let's go over the weekly planning workflows. So every week, what you're going to want to do is to click on the week and to enter the date. So this one that I'm starting week 1 is going to be from August 9th. And then I'm going to do end date until, let's say, August 15th. Now in the weekly planning, at the start of the week, you want to fill this out. So what will you do to make sure you achieve your goals tasks this week? What are some challenges? Which tasks are you looking forward to? Which tasks are you not looking forward to? And so on. And then you'll be able to see your this week's tasks. So ideally, you'll have everything filled out already. So you'll see all of your tasks from across your goals here. So these are going to be the tasks for going to the gym, a routine goal. But if I had other tasks, I can also see them here. And you can even add them directly here as well if you'd like. So let's say that for my publishing the video, I can do something like plan out all videos I will do in 12 weeks. And that could be my task for that week. So I can do that on Monday as well. Link it to the goal. Now the next part is the model week. This is when you get to think about what your ideal week could look like. And according to the book, there are certain blocks of time that you should think about with your time blocking. So there's 3 types: strategic blocks, a scheduled time slot each week dedicated to uninterrupted work. Buffer blocks are scheduled time slots to manage unexpected and less important tasks that might arise during a typical day, such as email and voicemail. Breakout blocks, a productive breakout session should be a minimum of 3 hours and dedicated to activities other than work. Which block should be strategic? which could be buffer blocks. So let's say that you really focus in the morning. Maybe you have a strategic block at 9 a.m. to knock out all of these things. These can be work related, this can be health related, anything that you can think about. If you need to add more rows, you can just click here, and so on. So we have Monday until all the way to Sunday. When you finish the week, you can score yourself. So you can check your progress. So here you can see your progress based on how many tasks you actually completed for that week. You can answer it there. How did it go during the week? What were the successes? What could have been improved? What do you want to do differently next week? So that is kind of the weekly workflow that you can follow here. And the next week you can do the same, and so on until you hit your 12-week plan. One thing that the book talks about is having that bonus week. So if you feel like you just need one more week in order to really feel like you accomplished your goal, then you can utilize week 13 as a way to kind of tie up loose ends, or maybe you missed one video that you really wanted to do for the 12 weeks. So then you can do it on week 13 to feel like you finished all of your tasks and goal progress. The final process of the weekly year is going to be the final reflection. So as I mentioned, there's also the reflection within each goal that you can definitely fill out, but you can also go to the final reflection page and do a general scoring and assessment of how you did. So you can go ahead and evaluate all of the goals that you've worked on in this 12-week plan. You can rate it from 1 to 10. So let's say that this one was make going to the gym a routine. Maybe I did really good, then I could put an 8 here and some notes. Did you achieve all the goals on the scheduled deadline? Do you think you chose the right goals? And so on. So you can fill those out. And then here you can look at all of your weeks that you have done and assess your average weekly score. So all you really need to do is add up those percentages for each of the weeks and then see what was your average to kind of score yourself and see how you did. Then you can fill out, are you happy with the score? What can you do differently to reach a higher score? How many weeks did you actually follow a weekly plan? And then based on the 12-week result, what worked and what didn't work? And then how would you describe your growth over the 12 weeks? So that's the full reflection process for when you're finished with the 12-week year. And then if you want to do a new 12-week year, that's when I recommend to duplicate the template again and then start from scratch. The next thing I wanted to go over is, now that we have Notion AI, I wanted to show you some use cases that's going to maybe speed up your process, have your AI act as your coach, or give you more insights. So the first way that I could recommend using the Notion AI for this process is just to ask it how you're doing this week. So how am I doing this week in my 12-week year? And then you can just click enter and it's going to analyze what you've put down into this 12-week year planner and help you understand your current situation. Okay, so here you can see sort of what the AI has come up with. So it says your 12-week year hasn't officially started yet. So since I started putting things from Sunday, you can see it here. The goals: making gym a routine, publish weekly videos, and even this kind of handy checkbox. And that's really nice. Coaching notes, you can see Monday is the heaviest day. Video goals need more meat on its bones. 2 to 13 have no dates. So you can see that this can be a really good sort of coach for you the more you actually put information inside of your 12-week year planner and workbook. The other way that I think can be really useful is, let's say that I open up make going to gym a routine, and instead of you having to fill these in manually, you can actually just ask the AI here. So something like this, I can click enter and it's going to start populating my tasks. So this is what it came up with. And as you can see, this looks really good. So all of the weekly plans are tagged here. All of the goals are correct. And you even have little tasks that are in addition to just simply going to the gym. So invite a friend to join you at the gym comes up. Week 7, try a new workout class. And then you have like reflect on your gym routine and plan your next 12 weeks in the week 12. So I think this is great. And if you want to do things like automating your weekly reports about your 12-week year, what kinds of tasks you need to do, I would copy the link to the current page you're working on. And then if you go to your agents and I click the adding an agent button here, I can just paste the link to that template that I'm currently working in and ask it to generate weekly reports of how I'm doing and send it to my email. That's the kind of workflows that you could do with the AI, help you with accomplishing your 12-week year goals. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check the links in the description for the book and the template. I highly recommend reading the book before using this so that you have more context. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I hope to see you all in the next video.